Welcome back. Every year, paddlers from all over the world come to Hawaii for the epic Surfski World Championship from the island of Molokai to Oahu. The open ocean surfski is arguably the fastest paddling modality in the world. Just take a look at how long they ride these swells.
The Molokai race starts on Molokai Island at the west edge of the island. The beginning of the race is relatively calm water because it's generally in the lee of the island. Does the open water crossing, finishes at Hawaii Kai. The race is 32 miles long. And as generally, if the conditions are right, the waves will pick up during the race, and the biggest, toughest conditions are usually as you come into Hawaii Kai at Chinaman's Wall.
But Molokai, it's special. It's always been special, and it's considered the world championship. And it's different because you just don't have the type of sea conditions, the ocean conditions that you can have, that you have here. You can have 18, 20-foot swells out there, and you can have it as flat as a piece of paper, where most of the other venues that we have around the world are pretty much predictable to a certain extent.
Well, I think this is the race in the world to determine who the world champion is. When the conditions are good, this is as good as it gets. I think that's why everyone comes over here every year. It's unreal.
The Molokai Championship started back in the 70s, and that was one of the first events where you had people from other parts of the world would actually converge, and it was considered the World Championship of open ocean kayaking. And since then it's grown to be bigger and bigger and more competitive. And you'll see from all the people here, to them, this is probably the biggest event of the year in open ocean racing.
Surfski is the only water sport in the world which is completely limitless. So there's no limit to surfski paddling. You can paddle your surfski in any conditions, whether it's flat water, rough water, upwind, downwind, oceans, rivers, lakes. No matter where you go, any body of water you can paddle your surfski. And that really is the big attraction for me to surfski paddling.
I like to surfski because you're outdoors, you're out in the ocean. It's the thrill of catching a wave and being able to go from wave to wave without having to paddle back out through it makes it very exciting for me. This race is special for one, it's a long open water crossing. That makes it a challenge. It usually has very good downwind conditions the whole way. And the finish is extremely exciting as you come into Chinaman's Wall. You've got rebounding waves. Then you oftentimes can surf a wave in towards Hawaii Kai and then to sprint to the finish. The thing that makes this race exciting or accepted as the World Championship is that you've got people coming from all around the world to challenge these conditions. and it's been contested for many years, and it has become the de facto standard of being considered the World Championship.
On a race as long as the Molokai, where you start hitting multiple hours of paddling, I think you hit probably every emotion known to man. Most of the time when you're racing, you don't really think about your surroundings or anything like that. You're just trying to cover your competitors and try and make sure that that you gain any bit of advantage that you can. I generally always take in my surroundings, because that's just one of the things that I love about Surfski paddling is the places that you get to see. You always get to see. You just see things from a different perspective, and being out in the open ocean where your only form of power are your arms, there's no engines, there's no boat, it's just you powering your way to the other side.
An Olympic paddler has a lot of background in very efficient technique and also a high level of training, especially at higher speeds. I first competed in the Molokai race the year after winning 2 gold medals in the Olympics. Thought it would be a cakewalk for me. Came out here, it was my first real time in ocean water experiences. I ended up 45 minutes behind Surfski, who was the winner that year. It was a real eye-opener coming to Molokai for the first time. I thought paddling is paddling. What difference does it make what type of water you're on? But there's a real art to reading the water, being able to benefit from surfing the waves downwind.
The race kind of started out a little bit on the flat side, and then there were some bumps kind of off the line, and at about hour 3 I started trying to paddle a little harder. I had really good support. My husband was out there, Kai. He was calling my line and doing the water drops, and I was really lucky to have him out there. And I just think it's great to see, water sports growing, and hopefully I'll be back next year on a kayak. We'll see. I think I'm going to paddle a little bit more.
What a race! Lauren Bartlett surprised everyone by competing in this Surfski event and taking home the crown for Hawaii, followed by Alexa Cole. This is a remarkable achievement considering that Lauren is actually an outrigger canoe paddler. For the men, it was Tahiti's Lewis Laughlin in first, followed by Hank McGregor. We'll be right back.